They have your indentured servitude for the rest of your life. And hopefully, if you don't give the house back, you pass that debt down to your children. Oh my God. And welcome back again, young scholars. Today's lesson, we have one from Jew Almighty. Now, if you stepped even a foot outside in America, you would know that it ain't cheap. All right? You can't just walk around, go to the dollar store, and actually get things for $1 no more. That time's over with. It's done. A lot of y'all may be young. Y'all may have never experienced that time, but I have. Going down to the local candy shop, throwing a quarter here and there, walking out with bags full of candy. Who, what a time to be alive. But in this video, Trump wants us trapped in debt forever with 50-year mortgages. We're going to see exactly what the hell's going on, okay? Because this is getting out of hand.
Do you smell that? What is that? What's that smell?
Opportunity.
No. Money. I smell money.
A lot of people voted for Trump because he promised to lower the price of groceries and everything else.
This will rapidly drive prices down, lower interest rates, and put more money into the pockets of American consumers. It'll also bring your grocery bill way down. I have more complaints on grocery. The word grocery, it's sort of simple word, but it sort of means like everything you eat.
But instead of doing any of that, he's wrecked the economy.
32% of Americans say things are going well in the country, John. 68% say they're going badly. This is clearly driven in large part by the economy, which is by far and away the most important issue.
Yep. I think that healthcare and foreign policy should be a little higher. But yeah, the economy, she going crazy.
For Americans, 47% say economy, cost of living, top issue. Well, 61% of Americans say they've worsened.
And one of his bright ideas on how to fix things is to make us slaves to debt for generations by offering 50-year mortgages.
Trump introduced 50-year mortgages for homeowners.
What happened?
Instead of paying off a house for 30 years with interest, you can now pay it off in 50 years. However, people did the math, and if you paid it off in 50 years instead of 30, you would spend 3 times the amount in interest alone.
Right now, America is dealing with sky-high inflation.
Yeah, that's the plan. That's the only reason it was proposed. That, and you know the average age for a home buyer in America is 40 years old. 40 years old. Now, you was already scraping by with that 30-year mortgage, all right? Getting by, going ahead and running it up till around 70. Maybe you could pay it off. 50 years, you're going to be a slave to that mortgage to the day you die. Now, is that so much a bigger deal? I don't know. Depends on what angle you want to look at it from. Me personally, yeah, that's a pretty big deal, buddy. But considering you don't own your home in the first place, aka property taxes, I mean, is it really that big a deal? Shit, who knows? And I don't know if y'all knew this about property taxes, but depending on how your house is assessed, how your home is assessed, that shit can shoot up thousands of %. Companies can literally come in, maybe buy up some of the property around you, maybe not even buy it up, spruce it up. City comes in, you in a nice neighborhood now. I know you bought this house for around $120,000, but I'm assessed at $2.7 million now. Yeah, let me get 3% of that. Pay up, buddy. Pay up. And a woman on retirement, Social Security benefits, she can't afford that. The old man who's been working all his life to buy this house, he can't afford that payment. They're retired. They're supposed to be taking it easy. Go live in a box. That's what the government's telling you. Better yet, we don't want you sucking up no more tax money, okay, that you worked hard for and put into Social Security. How about you just wrap it up? What up? Life. How about you wrap life up, buddy? Right, that's the government for you.
sinking economy, rising unemployment, a weak job market, historic insurance hikes, and the longest shutdown in history, even though it looks like the Democrats continue to be toothless and weak and bail Trump out. And on top of all of that, we're in the middle of an affordable housing crisis that's locked out millions from becoming homeowners, let alone entire generations at this point.
The Atlanta Fed just put out a new report saying home ownership affordability has fallen to a new record low, even lower than 2006.
No shit. What did you expect? We rolled right into a government shutdown. And even before this, it was looking pretty dicey with the escalation of inflation. Yeah, it's natural.
Which was right before the subprime mortgage crisis.
But again, instead of fixing any of these things, the Trump administration is offering not just a lifetime of debt, but generations of debt in order to become a homeowner, which really isn't even home ownership at that point. It's just renting from a bank.
And when I heard it, it felt like to me like a lifetime gym membership. You know, you sign up once, you use it for about 10 minutes, and then you spend the next 10 years or more just paying on something that you barely use.
But I'm Jew. Welcome to the channel. Please like and share the video. Don't forget to sub. Now, let's get into it.
This 50-year mortgage idea is a spit in the face. It is an insult. We did not vote for this. We did not vote to become debt slaves to private equity firms and the big banks in Wall Street.
A 50-year mortgage is such a terrible, horrible idea for so many reasons. One being the only people that...
For y'all. For the banks, that shit is amazing. To the banks, they have your indentured servitude for the rest of your life. And hopefully, if you don't give the house back, you pass that debt up. You pass that debt down to your children. Oh my God. I would be ecstatic if I was a bank. And if my shit fell, I could just get the government to bail me out too. Damn. Banks got it good, I ain't gonna lie.
Really benefit from this are the banks, because basically anyone that takes out a loan for a 50-year mortgage will be paying nothing but interest for 15 to 20 years. That means a 50-year mortgage already kills some of the most important advantages and benefits to owning a home in the first place.
That's their solution to the home affordability crisis. I want to be crystal clear about something. I am a mortgage loan originator, mortgage broker, however you want to call it. I'm going to make a fortune off of this, which is great for me because over the last few years when the shit has been terrible for everyone trying to buy a home, it's been awful for me because it's commission only. I'm going to do well because this is happening, and I don't think this should happen. This is insane. Their solution to the home affordability crisis, as opposed to finding a way to stymie the meteoric rise of home prices or to cap interest rates,
which is so easy. Literally all you have to do is get these banks and businesses out of mass purchasing homes, because that's what it is. That's why home affordability is shooting way down, because nobody owns a home. It's all private companies and banks. I don't know what more I can say to convince y'all that these conglomerates, these dystopian facilities are leading us down a path of destruction. I just don't. I don't know what to say. I don't know what will open your eyes to it. I know everybody's struggling. I know you're just worried about your next meal, making your money to support your family. You don't even care about this shit, maybe. Politics, I'm not really that into politics. I'm not really into this, everyone fighting with each other and policies being made, 50-year mortgages. It's just not my thing. Well, guess what? You're their thing for sure. They always got their eye on you. But look, I can't tell you what to do. I can't tell you how to move. We're just going to have to see this play out.
On companies like mine, instead of doing those things, they're like, oh, well, let's just have all the kids take out more debt over a longer period of time. A 30-year mortgage was already kind of laughable. Like, every time I write one, I talk to the people like, 30 years, if they're like, man, you're not going to be in this mortgage for 30 years. You're going to refinance, you're going to sell, you're going to do a bunch of things. But like 50 actually implies the impossibility of ever actually owning your home.
When it comes to building wealth in America, real estate has historically been the #1 way to do that for most average people. All you really had to do before was buy a house in a good neighborhood at a good price, pay your mortgage on it every month, and over time it will generally appreciate while your equity builds because you're paying down the primary balance. Which means that over time that equity increases your net worth. And if you ever need it for an emergency, to put your kids through college, to buy another house, you could tap into that equity with the cash out refinance or a home equity line of credit.
Get a house with a 25-year roof, an indestructible economy box. You put the rest into the system at 3 to 5% to pay your taxes, and that's your base. Get me? That's your fortress of fucking solitude. That puts you for the rest of your life at a level of you. That's all I have to say to anybody at any social level.
But with the 50-year mortgage, some of the best benefits and advantages to owning a home are gone. Because with the 50-year mortgage, you're not going to pay down your balance or build any equity until probably 25 years into the loan. And for whatever reason, if houses stop appreciating, you don't build any equity that way. And there's a risk that house prices could actually go down, which means you will be underwater on a loan that you owe for 50 years.
And in 50 years, it is almost guaranteed that at some point that house is going to crash. That the property of that house is going to go way down. At some point, it might even go back up. But in 50 years, yeah, your shit's going to tank.
That's not financing. That is generational debt cosplay. So Trump is floating around this 50-year mortgage, right? And when I heard it, it felt like to me like a lifetime gym membership. You sign up once, you use it for about 10 minutes, and then you spend the next 10 years or more just paying on something that you barely use. I'm gonna break it down for you in plain English. A 50-year mortgage does not bring you any closer to owning a damn thing. All it does is stretch out that leash so long that you forget who's holding the other end. You're basically a renter with extra paperwork.
And let's not forget, this economy and the job market is so bad that the average age of first-time home buyers is 38 to 40 years old now. So that means if a first-time home buyer bought a house at 40 years old with the 50-year mortgage, they would not be done paying off that mortgage until they were 90 years old, which not only means you would literally be working for your entire life well after retirement just to pay your mortgage. The only other issue with that is, based on the life expectancy in the U.S., you'll probably be dead before you pay your house off. So it really shouldn't surprise anybody that this plan from a billionaire, from an administration that seems like it's trying to destroy the middle class, will only destroy the middle class while it makes the rich richer. $400,000 mortgage comparison at 6%. 30-year mortgage, monthly payment $2,398. Total loan cost $863,352. 50-year mortgage, monthly payment $2,106. So you're saving almost $300. Total loan cost $1,263,372. Insane. But again, people not knowing better would still sign up for this.
And most people don't know better. And that's what the system predicates itself off of. You not knowing. You not knowing.
Never get on board with a 50-year mortgage. Period. It's a terrible idea for the American consumer. And yes, I have firsthand knowledge of this market as a real estate developer, home builder, and investor. Interest-only loans are dangerous and basically usury. They led to the pre-2008 collapse of the real estate market and would truly usher in an era of predatory lending. It would force the system to create equity via asset speculation. Because what happens when it collapses? It always does. Just don't get a 50-year mortgage. Well, then don't get a 30-year. See how that works? Of course, nobody's forcing you to take out a loan, but Americans have built their nest egg via investing in real estate. That's part of the American dream. And when most people need a loan to access that part of the American dream, what is your alternative? The first 7 or 10 years of a 50-year mortgage, there's zero principal accumulation. The entire basis here then would be essentially, I hope that the price of this home goes up.
A 50-year mortgage is such an insane idea. It's like you could just hear Dr. Evil in the background coming up with this plan.
We hold the world ransom for $100 billion.
because anyone that fell into this would never own their home for real. They would just be lifelong renters, and for a bunch of reasons, they could lose their house before they paid it off. Or let's say somebody even paid off their house and they were 80 years old, retired, and property taxes went up or continue to go up as they tend to do. Senior citizens could still lose their house because they can't afford to pay the property taxes. The real issue that needs to be solved is housing affordability. Prices for houses have continued to climb since the pandemic, while interest rates have gone up as well. Meanwhile, wages have remained stagnant, so even if you're working a job, doing everything that you're supposed to be doing, chances are you still won't be able to afford a home on your own, which is why the age for first-time homebuyers is the highest it's ever been in history.
Now, records show last year it spiked to 38 years old. The National Association of Realtors says the rising age is due to high home prices, high mortgage interest rates, and limited inventory. It's hard to believe that someone who's nearly 40 becoming a first-time home buyer is just so hard these days.
A 50-year mortgage is a horrible idea. I don't see how that helps the problem. Ban BlackRock from buying homes, maybe, which is a whole other issue because you have hedge funds going into single-family neighborhoods and buying all the properties, pricing out would-be home buyers and turning them into lifelong renters.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who knows this. I'm so glad there's somebody out there who knows this shit. I'm sorry for pausing. I just had to let that out. Because I be hearing some crazy shit about people why houses are so expensive now. Like, no. No, it is not your neighbor. It is not your neighbor. That's the problem.
Anyway,
BlackRock just bought 50,000 homes at $300,000 each, then sold 3 to themselves for $700K. Your neighbor's value just doubled overnight, and you can't afford to live there anymore. They're stealing the American dream. They buy hundreds of.
And what he means by that is the property value increased, so your property taxes increase. You can no longer afford the property taxes, so you can't afford to live there. Therefore, you foreclose on your house, the government takes it away. You are now homeless after paying for your home. Completely. It's yours, quote unquote. Now it's not. I already said my piece. I already said it. I don't know what to tell you. I just don't.
Homes in cash, 20 to 30% above asking price. Imagine being that guy putting your shit on listing and it's like, oh no, we'll buy it for 30% more. I ain't saying no to that. The elderly couple who owned their home for 40 years, forced out by property taxes they can't afford.
Which is insane when you think about it, because how can any homeowner compete with the hedge fund? How about instead of 50-year mortgages, you stop allowing BlackRock, Blackstone to buy single-family homes? But of course, lenders, mortgage brokers, anybody else in the system is going to love to see a home buyer coming under these conditions. 50-year mortgages, a cutting-edge strategy to the housing crisis. You only pay $500,000 more in interest, but it's total $600 less each month. To most of us, that sounds ridiculous, right? But if you're really desperate to buy a home, to become a homeowner, and they tell you could pay $600 less in interest, how many people would say no to that? Because there are so many people out there that, one, aren't financially literate, that two, don't think that far into the future. Like, oh, I'll probably refinance, or I'll do something else, I'll sell the house long before I'm in there for 50 years or paying this loan for 50 years. But life happens, the economy shifts, housing prices tank sometimes, and then you will be stuck in that house underwater paying that mortgage where you're only paying the interest for 20 years. I'm just gonna say it, the 50-year mortgage is actually a lease and will drive up housing costs far more without fixing one issue. That's a terrible idea that will double housing costs within a decade. And to that point, Japan had 50-year mortgages right before their entire financial system blew up, which is terrible because all of us make bad financial decisions sometimes, right? Our parents made bad financial decisions sometimes, and their parents did as well. But imagine your parent, if not you, signing up for a 50-year mortgage on an overpriced house, not being able to pay it off before they die, and then passing that debt down to you. It is generational debt slavery that will collapse the middle class and make the rich richer. Government considering 50-year mortgages that could pass down generations to tackle housing crisis. The idea, similar to what happens in Japan, could see people passing on mortgages to their children when they die. And I really think this is the point that's most scary to me. Imagine retiring and still owing 25 more years on your mortgage. You you will pay over $1 million in interest on a $400,000 house. Absolute joke.
Crazy.
This is not affordability. This is a scam. It is 100% a scam. It makes the rich richer, destroys the middle class, and ensures no one will ever be able to build wealth again. A 50-year mortgage is a literal lifetime of debt slavery, generationally. The bank, when they hear you accepted their 17% 50-year mortgage, exactly, because they're the only ones making money from it. Isn't a 50-year mortgage effectively just renting a place from a bank? Yes. And that's what you look like in retirement when you still owe 30 more years on your mortgage. I said it
Yeah, that's crazy.
before, this just feels like a really mean-spirited administration where they're doing everything they can to hurt people, to destroy the middle class, to keep people in debt or struggling. You look at them literally fighting and going to court to not pay SNAP benefits. You look at this government shutdown where Republicans completely refused to negotiate, where all the Democrats wanted was to keep insurance rates from exploding, which are going to happen now anyway. And now you have this, which is basically a lifetime of debt to become a homeowner, which you'll never really own because you're going to owe the bank long after you die.
If I give you this money and you don't pay me back, there are no rules. You never get to say fuck you to anybody ever. Do you understand the gravity of your situation?
It's just scary times. If they do put this into effect, never sign up for a 50-year mortgage. At this point, I wouldn't even sign up for another 30-year mortgage. It would be 15 or less from me because you'll have a higher monthly payment, but you build equity faster. And again, your home will be paid off in 15 years, which gives you so much freedom and flexibility with your money. And if you haven't bought a home yet, it's not the end of the world. As long as you're working, saving your money, improving your credit, there's still first-time homebuyers programs out there that'll help you get ready to buy your first home, help with down payment and closing costs. And of course, you have FHA, which I think is still 3.5 down. So there are ways to become a homeowner, even when things are as bad as they are right now.
Honestly, you should buy a home while you still can. And hear me out. I know everybody says it's not possible to buy a home in America, but hear me out. You can buy a home. There are first-time homebuyer programs that can help you with down payment and out-of-pocket costs. But I don't know if you've seen the news lately, but Trump is now championing a 50-year mortgage to make things a little more affordable, which begs the question, why do we even need to do that in America? But that's besides the point. Buying a home is doable, but the longer you wait, the harder it is, the more prices are going to keep going up. I don't think interest rates are going to go significantly down. People can stop waiting for that. But the fact that they are now talking about a 50-year mortgage just shows how much you really need to buckle down and focus on buying a home right now while it is still available to you.
But shout out to my channel members. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for watching. Y'all let me know what you think about all this in the comments. Also, make sure you check out the next video. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram for behind the scenes and life stuff. And I'll catch you next time. Peace.
Man. So yeah, that's the video from Jew Almighty. Good stuff, a banger. But ultimately, shit, I'm waiting for this shit to blow up. All right, I ain't gonna lie. I told you this time and time again, the capitalistic journey we're going on right now is not sustainable. It cannot sustain itself. It just can't. Sooner or later, it's gonna collapse in some way, and then we gonna be trading shiny rocks for butter and milk and shit. So. I don't know, man. It's gonna be some barter type shit going on soon. So, yeah, whatever. But let me know what y'all think down in the comments below. If y'all like the video, go ahead and like. Check out my boy Jew Almighty. He's got some pretty good stuff over there. And yeah, I'll see y'all in the next one.